Well, welcome to Newmaker's interview with John Hankins. John, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us about, the mental health challenges that are facing older Americans when it comes to retirement, among other things. I would love for you to take a little bit of time just to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us how you got into the field.
Hi, Josh. Thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity. My story is probably pretty unique. I started out working in the mental health field in the 1970s and got a master's degree in social work in 1981, and then actually pursued a PhD for a number of years after that, but went off into other things. That's like a 35-year long tail. Uh, so I had a really successful career, and I retired from that in 2018. So I've been retired for just about 5 years. Um, I got involved in a couple of different things that drew on my background. I started working restorative justice as a volunteer about 15 years ago, which really helped me to keep my skills in terms of dealing with kind of more of a therapeutic environment, an environment where you're listening to people and trying to help them.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. That was really has been and continues to be a great experience for me. And then I started working with small nonprofits on a volunteer basis through an organization called Catch a Fire, where I was advising them on financial management. And at the same time, I was planning my own retirement, and my peer group was there. Lots of my friends were planning retirement. Trust me, when you get to be 65 years old or so, it becomes a major topic with you and your friend.
I'm sure.
And across this spectrum, both with the people that I was working with on the nonprofit side and friends and family, I just observed that this level of anxiety over the whole financial management piece. And I had gone through a lot of that myself. And I guess I can just net that out on the retirement side by saying, we refer to ourselves as the baby boomer generation, but we really should be referred to as the 401k generation, because we're the first generation where, hey, your retirement is your deal. It's, your company of 30 years, like my dad, who worked at the same company for 32 years and had a pension, it's all taken care of. Maybe it's not a great pension, but it's there. It's their thing. It's not your thing. That's all changed for us, both from the planning side as well as once you retire from the management side. So there you are. You're in your 60s and you're getting this message of, hey, you got to take care of yourself for the rest of your life. You have to save enough money to do all of this. So I just saw that as having all sorts of mental health issues. And along the way, and about a year ago, I discovered the Financial Therapy Association, and it really just rang some bells for me in the sense of this is what I've been looking at and just thinking about on a casual basis. But it's a real thing. This intersection of the mental health side and the financial management side into one area. So I became very interested in getting some training in that area. So I went back. I worked and got my social work license in the state of Colorado, where I live, and I became certified as a financial therapist as well over the past year. So
That's great.
that's me launching a new career at age 72. So I'm
That's
a
great.
strong believer in lifelong learning, and it's never too late. And it feels great to be involved in this. And a major motivation for me is just to be working with my peer group, because I think I have something to to contribute to
Yeah.
this this whole situation. So that's a
Yeah.
little long-winded, but
No, you're
that's my
fine.
story.
I think your story is really unique and interesting, and that's one of the reasons why Newmaker was so interested in having an interview with you, because you don't just talk the talk, you've walked the walk per se. And having been in retirement and then kind of come out of it, I've seen, I guess in our society, it's common to talk about retirement as this big, exciting, fun, time of your life. And as a financial planner, I've noticed that really it can be a very scary, very trying time for people to piece together for a whole myriad of reasons. Can you talk a little bit about some of the mental health challenges facing older Americans in this way?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different directions we could go in on this, but let's just take two.
Okay.
One is just around the whole financial piece, uh, the question of uh, how to plan and manage the finances for your retirement. And I think this is really an unrecognized mental health crisis. The level of anxiety that comes along with that uh, can be really significant. And I think that we have seen this over the past 18 months with the dip in the stock market. That I've heard this from my friends of, oh, wow, man, I lost so much money. I don't know what, am I going to make it? Is the stock market going to come back? This is really, a crisis. This is trauma for me.
Yeah.
How do I cope with this? I think that a lot of people are just don't understand it. They're not equipped to cope with it. They don't have the support structure. And I think a key piece of that support structure is just understanding all of the piece parts, which is really a major leap for a lot of people that um, have they've contributed to their 401k plan, whatever. It's just been a thing, um, and and it's just happened, and now it's their thing, and now they're looking at the numbers and trying to figure out, am I going to have enough money, to enjoy my retirement,
Yeah.
and simply don't understand it. And from a financial therapy perspective, there's a major kind of fear barrier. They're afraid to get involved. They don't understand finances. They don't really understand the whole money thing,
Yeah.
and they don't have anybody to help them make that leap. So I think that's one piece of it. The second major piece is just identity. Just who are you when you retire? And this is not a one size fits all picture. There are plenty of people that have uh, have retirement scoped out. And I know one guy, like, he was financially well off. His thing when he retired was he was going to go fishing to all the great spots in the world, and that was going to be his thing.
Yeah.
For me, when I retired, I wanted to do a lot of bicycle riding. I wanted to do some great bicycle rides. But I think that there's certainly a significant segment of the population that really they do not have a strong vision of the future. In fact, there's some interesting research on this that
Mm.
uh, really connects your vision of the future with your ability to save and manage your retirement funds. Uh, so I think that having help, having support in building that vision is really key, because for some people it's just not easy to do. They've been this job, they've had this job, this profession. They've been doing that for the last 40 years, and now that that's gone out of their life, the big question, who are they? What's their purpose? Where are they going? And so I think between those those two pieces. In some cases, it works great, but in other cases, the wheels are really coming off for sure.
Yeah. So it sounds like, a lot of older Americans are dealing with almost this existential problem of not really knowing who they are outside of work, while at the same time they're being asked to really cobble together their own retirement with very little help. Um, do you think that this type of situation is one that can easily cause traumas?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just go back to what I was saying regarding the stock market, that uh, you, as a retired person, and I've been there. Uh, you've spent many years where you're getting a paycheck, and that is a very secure thing. I went to work, I did my thing. It's the end of the week or the end of the month, whatever, and there's money that's been deposited in my bank account. It's the company has sent me the money, and I've got the cash.
Yeah.
Uh, and now that, regardless of the identity piece, just that flow of cash has gone out of my life, and it's not coming back. And I think that is trauma in itself. I know that felt like trauma to me. Um, and just a personal story, I was thinking about retirement, kind of, going back and forth, and the 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 barrier was the paycheck. I don't want to give up this paycheck, and I could only cross that barrier when I had this vision of myself as a consultant. And I mean, I this scene is still in my head. I was visiting a friend, I was flying home, I was chewing on this whole retirement thing, and it just came together in my head of, there's enough consulting work out there that I can replace this income. I can retire, but I'm not giving up. I'll still have some financial security. That
Yeah.
turned out to be a total illusion, by the way, on my
Okay.
part. It was a total illusion. I started a consulting company that was an absolute failure. But the vision that I could do that was what got me, to retire, to
Yeah.
give up that paycheck.
Yeah. We always say in the industry that one of the most important things you can do is not just understand the life you're retiring out of, but understand the life you're retiring into. And I think that's a really good segue. In the next couple of videos that we're going to be doing, we're going to talk about the before retirement and the after retirement and dig a little bit deeper into those. So I appreciate everybody watching. Um, please join us in the next video where John's going to go a little bit more into that before and after retirement piece. Thank you.